Thank you so much for showing up tonight. We're going to call this meeting to order for October the 25th, the monthly meeting. At this time, I would ask you to please stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hill, is there any additions to this agenda?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Has the board received the minutes from the work session and board meeting on the 20th of last month?
Yes.
Any questions or comments? Okay. Well, Chair will now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, ma'am. All in favor? Unanimous. Next item on our agenda is awards and recognitions. Union County Schools Teacher of the Year. Mr. Hill?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is one of the most exciting times for us throughout the whole school year, because we have an opportunity to highlight some of our most, greatest teachers that really exemplify what, good teaching is about. It's about serving students. It's about taking care of our kids and preparing the next generation to, be ready for post-secondary and ultimately employment or join the military, the workforce, whatever they choose to do. So we have 5 really wonderful candidates tonight. And tonight we're going to let each principal present their staff voted Teacher of the Year with an award. And these 5 individuals will be in running for the District Teacher of the Year, which will be announced and recognized in the November meeting. So everybody needs to come back in November. We got some really good people. We're very proud of them, very thankful for our teachers. So we're going to start out with Union County High School, Mr. C.T. Hush.
I'd like to call Mr. Charlie Katnack up. While he's coming up, I'd like to take a second to tell a little story about Charlie when we were wanting to bring the program back, and which we needed to do. We went out, we interviewed, and he came in for an interview, and we wanted to go to the job site. And it was obvious, he was very, very good, and we were very excited to get him back. So he came in and, because of our charter, we're able to use professionally qualified, folks that have lots of time and years spent in the profession. So he came in the first year, did an awesome job. We were like, Charlie's a really good teacher. If you got in his classroom, you'd see, he was outstanding. You knew almost immediately. And then what happened? It was 2019, 2020 year. Well, you know what happened, right? We got shut down. And so we had to turn to, virtual learning. So as a first year teacher in construction, when the whole state shut down, that was, trouble, but it wasn't for him. He started making videos at home, started making videos, posting videos to the, to the kids for them to be able to complete their assignments. Outstanding, really understood Google Classroom better than most people understood Google Classroom at that time. He figured it out. That's what he did. And so, we move on and we come through that, and now, we've got the Habitat for Humanity house being built, as you see at the College and Career Academy and the new construction lab. I just wanted to read a few things that some of the staff members wrote about him. Says Charlie is always an active member in the UCHS community and all that he does, and a leader within the vocational programs. He is always willing to help, to do whatever he can to help and serve our UCHS students. He was just named in Teacher of the Month as well for the Country Financial. Awesome from day one. Both a good contractor and a good teacher. He's gotten 2 different students the last 2 years $10,000 scholarships. Works constantly with industry and post-secondary schools to provide as many opportunities as possible for his students. And he is our Skills USA advisor, and he's gotten students to nationals in cabinet making in year 2 as the advisor. So congratulations, Charlie.
Pat Dawson, Union County Middle School.
Promised he wouldn't wear his overalls tonight. I really have a lot of great things to say about this gentleman right here, and I've only been at the middle school a couple of years, or I'm working on my 2nd year, but far, far away, he and I went to high school together, and so I'm proud to say that he is a 1991 graduate of Union County High School, a year older than me, and I'll not let you live that down. Then he began teaching PE at Indian Creek Middle School in 1996.
You did some digging.
I did some digging. He was first a PE teacher in health, and he liked health so much that he wanted to become a science teacher. So he got his science certification, went into the academic world there. While he was at Middle Creek, he coached football and wrestling, and I think that's where he fell in love with wrestling. He has 2 state championships under his belt, with 2 rings to prove it, and I'm very proud of that there. But he met his wife Holly while teaching at Indian Creek, and consequently, or kind of ironically, he was named Teacher of the Year in 2002, the day that Eli was born. Is that correct?
The year he was born.
Yes, the year he was born, and today is Eli's 20th birthday. So, how awesome is that? So he has 3 children, Eli, Avery, and Asa, and I know they are very proud of him, as well as Holly. And so I want to just say a few things about having him to work with as a peer at the middle school. If I ever need our faculty pumped up about something, this is who I go to. If I ever need our students pumped up about something, this is who I go to. Everyone looks up to him. They value him as a coworker, and they value him as their teacher. And that's just universally, whenever you talk to any of the students or any of the staff, they have such respect for him because his passion shows through for what he does every single day. Every single day. He's excited to be there every single day. And I'm just excited to be able to be around that, and I very much appreciate who you are and the passion that you bring to our school.
Thank you.
Thank you, congratulations. Mr. Rivero, Union County Elementary School.
Please join me in welcoming Ms. Rhonda Caldwell to the front of the room here, please. Ms. Rhonda Caldwell is in her 25th year with the Union County School System. She spent her first 5 years in 5th grade. She spent another 5 years teaching high school science. She spent 12 years teaching early childhood education at the high school and also opened up the daycare at the high school. And then since joining Union County Elementary School with me, she spent 2 years in 3rd grade, and then I asked her to please go to 4th grade, and she looped with her class and taught those same students for a 2nd year in a row, and she's in that year now in 4th grade. She serves as our teacher representative on our school governance team. She serves as a new teacher mentor, and she volunteered to be our Kiwanis K-Kids representative. In addition to the Union County school system, she has spent 15 years with the Mountain Education Charter System, and in the 21-22 school year, she was elected Staff Member of the Year for all 18 sites of MEC. She did note when we were talking earlier this week that she has been married for all 25 of those years. They have a daughter, Carter, 24 years old, and a son, Cooper, 19 years old. Rhonda just has a wealth of knowledge and experience, and she's on that 4th grade hall. She gets a chance to utilize that because we have a lot of younger faces that can use and benefit from her knowledge and experience. She is a master teacher, engaging her elementary students with fun and challenging work. It's always a pleasure to go in and observe in Rhonda's classroom. Each day she leads with a can-do attitude. Please join me in celebrating Ms. Rhonda Caldwell as Union County Elementary Schools Teacher of the Year. Yes. Family? Oh, my.
Look.
Sorry, Brittany.
Just for the paper.
And then
Were you live?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Carter, Cooper,
Jason.
Joe.
And Evan.
You go.
We gotta get her tall hands out.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll go the other way, David. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much.
Union County Primary School, take a note.
Please help me welcome Ms. Elizabeth Jensen Goddard as the Union County primary candidate for Teacher of the Year for Union County Schools. Since joining Union County Primary School last year, Ms. Goddard has made an amazing impact on her 1st grade team. Not only is she a leader, but she is a friend. This is her 14th year in education, but I have to tell you, she is an amazing educator. Her students love coming to school, they love being in her class, and they will do anything she asks them to do. I will also tell you that she is not only a leader amongst her peers in her grade level, but she's a leader on our staff. She leads through being very spirited, being very compassionate, and just being a true friend. She is an amazing educator, and we are truly blessed to have her at Union County Primary School. So congratulations.
One, two, three.
Ms. Williams Reynolds, Willie Gap School.
help me welcome Mr. Robert Hill as Woody Gap Schools Teacher of the Year. This is Mr. Hill's 14th year. He started his career in Henry County. He taught there for 5 years and then went to Gilmer County for a year and has been with Woody Gap for, this is his, he's been there 7 years, so starting his 8th year. He teaches all of our science, 6 through 12. He also has been deemed to teach 4th and 5th grade science in times. So he is also our teacher representative for our school governance team. In his spare time, he coaches cross country and tennis. And if you are ever in such as during practice time, you'll see him working out and doing conditioning with the kids. He'll be running with them with cross country. He'll be in the weight room with them. So he's always alongside the students during practice. He also plays a very integral part in our Indian Summer Festival, with our teachers booth and with our athletic auction, to help, support Woody Gap School. He's also always willing to step in and help our teachers. We have new teachers and he just automatically will step in and help them do whatever they need and with any of the staff. He is also married and has 2 kids. He has Trevor and McKenna. Trevor graduated last year. McKenna is a senior this year, and McKenna is actually at her fall band concert tonight. So he is here by himself tonight. So please help me congratulate Mr. Robert Hill.
Next item on our agenda is Partner in Education, Dr. Murphy.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The Lions Club has been a long time supporter and partner with Union County Schools. And we really do appreciate everything that they've always continued to do to support the school district. This year, I believe the number is 1,191 vision screenings that they performed for us. That is an amazing accomplishment. We truly appreciate it. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. I want to ask one of our nurses, Miss Leanne Hartley, to come forward and give you more information about the Lions Club and exactly why they are a partner in education.
Hey there, I am Leanne Hartley. I'm the nurse at the primary school, and I'm also the lead nurse for the county. I have several of my other nurses back here in the back who have really helped make this possible. What we try to do, every year, the stomach bug's going around, the flu's going around. I mean, there's just a given. If you're in school, you're gonna have germs, there's gonna be illnesses. But we wanted to try to come up with something that we could come alongside the parents and partner with them, because, a child has to be healthy to learn. And, one of the things we've talked about in our meetings over the years, we see a discrepancy with dental services. A lot of children don't get dental services like they should. Well, they're pretty good about coming and telling us, my teeth hurt. My mouth is hurting. Let's see if we can, help them. What we saw mostly, children don't necessarily know that they can't see. Sometimes it's a gradual thing. I had a student one time get glasses, and he just was amazed, and he said, I didn't know I was actually supposed to see the leaves on the tree across the road. They just saw the color of the tree. And so a couple of years ago, I contacted, you may know Mildred Thompson. She worked here for a long time. And I just wanted to find a community partner that might help us with some vision screenings. There's only 5 nurses. There are 3,200 students. In Georgia, a student must be screened for vision and hearing, and dental on admission to the school system. Well, if that's pre-K, they may not be checked again ever, unless they recognize that there's a problem. And so, we thought it's so important to their education to be able to tell if it's a 6 or an 8 on the board, or if it's a 7 or a 9. A lot of kids don't know, and so if they're having trouble seeing, their grades suffer because of it. And a lot of times that's the last thing we check. We may check other things, but it may just be a vision problem. So the Lions Club of Union County, I reached out to Miss Mildred and she said, hey, we'd love to talk to you. So they let me crash a couple of their monthly meetings at Cook's Country Kitchen. They have been a joy to work with. COVID has sidelined us a few times. We didn't want them coming in and being exposed to, the school germs. But we started with a small number last year just to see how successful it would be. So we started with 3rd grade because we knew typically kindergarten and pre-K had been screened. So they came in, they took all of 3rd grade. They have an organization called the Lighthouse out of Atlanta. They provide vision screeners that can check vision very quickly. Once the students were identified as having a problem, the Lighthouse actually provides a vision bus from Atlanta. This is a state-of-the-art bus with all the equipment. It has an optometrist. Dr. Patricia Allen actually volunteered her time in May to come and staff that vision bus. Once they got over the trauma of coming over Blood Mountain in it, they were really happy they were here. They brought glasses. The children could come in, the students could come in, they could pick out which glasses they wanted. And these were cool glasses. These were, all your name brand. They could try them on. They had that autonomy to figure out what they wanted. And the Lighthouse and the Lions Club paid for that 100%. They actually shipped the glasses over the summer to these students, so they were able to start this year with glasses, which will change this year for them completely because they can see. We were successful with 3rd grade, so we decided, why don't we try everybody? And so Mr. Jim Wentworth has headed this up for me, and he went to Atlanta, got the spot vision screeners, and they actually took 2 weeks out of their time, and we went to every school. They went to the primary, elementary, middle, high school, the AEP, and we actually even went up to Suches in Woody Gap. It was a beautiful ride. So that none of our students were left out. We did have to have a consent from the parent, of course, that they were able to screen, like Dr. Murphy said, 1,191 students. Out of that number, we had 125 referrals. When we initially started this, they said statistic-wise, because they're the smart ones on the vision, it's about 10% that they will find needing a referral, and that's spot on. There are some limitations in Blairsville because a lot of our eye doctors don't take some of this insurance. And so they are also assisting us with vision vouchers for people who can't either, it costs a lot of money to drive to Dawsonville or Cumming or something to get these services. And so the Lions Club is helping these families provide local services. And we're trying to get the vision bus back in January. Because they go all over the state, it takes a couple of months to coordinate that and coordinate that with a local doctor. But they have been so helpful and so kind to come and partner with Union County Schools, and I just appreciate them so much. So I would like to present them with a Partner in Education Award. And so if y'all would come up, Ms. Paula, if you don't want to, you don't have to. There were about 10 that actually came and gave up their time. Not all of them could be here tonight, but these ladies and gentlemen really, really went above and beyond for Union County Schools, and I appreciate them very much. I'll present that to you.
glad to be a part.
Big thank you to the Lions Club. I'm sure I'm speaking for the whole board. Thank you so much. for all
Thank
you
you.
Our pleasure.
Community service.
Yes, next item on our, agenda, discussion items, the superintendent's update. Mr. Hill?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I had some great things I'd like to cover with the board. You know, again, some people are new to our meetings, they might not understand that these meetings are actually a public meeting between the superintendent and board to conduct business. They're open to the public, this is a meeting between the superintendent and the board. You know, some people might just not know how meetings work or, you know, what the purpose of a board meeting is. And so I wanted to cover that piece of information. Last week I attended the superintendent's conference in Athens. One thing that Phil Hartley, you know, brought to our attention, which was interesting, is to be aware there's some folks in the state of Georgia, apparently it's a national trend, that go and film public governmental institutions and organizations, and they try to create some kind of issue so they can get some type of YouTube likes or something and get some kind of sponsorship money from this. I thought that was fairly interesting. Phil also said there's a spike in frivolous lawsuits throughout government that really are costing taxpayers a lot of money. They're generally thrown out of court and nobody wins in that situation. The taxpayers lose because of the cost associated with those, but Phil did say that is pretty much a state of Georgia trend, because he represents most of the local school districts in Georgia, but it's also impacting sheriff's offices and other community county agencies. I thought that was interesting. There's been a lot of great success in the past month. I know you guys were here, most of you during the work session. Athletics and CTA is just really excelling. I'm very proud of both of those programs. Hats off to you, Josh and Mandy. Your leadership is really shining right now. Could not be prouder of the fact that we're having our ribbon cutting for our College and Career Academy on Friday at 10 o'clock. We'll be joined by the state school superintendent and the leader of TCSG, the president of the Technical College System of Georgia. So that's pretty exciting. I know you probably saw in the news that, you know, this was to be expected. You do have nationally a trend with test scores have gone down after a global pandemic, but Georgia did. I think it's important to recognize that Georgia did outperform the nation. The state of Georgia outperformed the nation in both an ACT and SAT. One thing that we're really proud of here in Union County Schools is a 99.1% graduation rate. So I want to give a hand to all our educators. All of our teachers, all of our support staff, your building administrators, and great leadership here in this boardroom. You can criticize, you can talk about, you can put what you want on, you know, Facebook or whatever social media platform. That's a really a huge accomplishment. During the challenges that we've had in the past couple of years in education, to have a 99.1% graduation rate, you know, you break that on down a little bit, your subgroup breakdowns. So economically disadvantaged is considered a subgroup. We have a large number of economically disadvantaged students. You know what that rate was? 98.7%. You know what our students with disabilities graduation rate was? 96.7%. So not only are we number one in the RESA, we're the fourth highest graduation rate in the state of Georgia. Third highest public school in the state of Georgia, and I am extremely proud of that, and I hope that everybody understands that doesn't happen, no knock towards the high school faculty or you as the high school leadership. That starts in our pre-K, kindergarten, and works its way throughout our school district. That doesn't magically happen, and that doesn't happen without a lot of people's hard work and support. So we're very proud of that, very thankful for that, and I think you all would be commended for that work. So thank you so much. One thing else I wanted to bring up to the board, last month I mentioned this, out of the 48 charter systems in Georgia, I put a letter in your packet from Dan Weber, the executive director. Union County Schools was awarded the District Leadership Award, the 4 areas of criteria: leadership, educator development, governance, and partnership. Again, that didn't magically take place. That's out of all the charter districts in the state of Georgia. We received that award. Union County Schools received that award. Nobody else received that award. That's not a one-person award. That is a staff award. That goes off, hands off to our staff, our partnership, our governance, our building level administrations, commitment to developing these teachers. How long have you been teaching, ma'am? Put you on the spot. Ms. Goddard?
About 14 years.
14 years. Folks like that and all our other teachers of the year, they pour into new educators. They do everything they can to share best practices. We work as hard as we can to serve the kids of this community, because that's what it's about. People say, what's your purpose? The purpose is very, very simple. The purpose is for our children to be employable young people when they leave us. Whether they go to college, whether they go to technical school, whether they join the military, or whether they join the workforce immediately following graduation. We want our children to be contributing members of this society, and we want them to be successful. That's what success for all means to me. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very thankful that we have a board that supports that mission. And that's all children, not just certain groups of kids. It's important to remember in public education, we serve all children. Our test scores, you compare the United States to other countries, if you're special education, you know what they do with you? Think about that. They open the door, you're not welcome. Here, we serve all children. We take care of all children. And I think that is something to be proud of. We mentioned the trunk or treat. If you weren't here, that was a tremendous event. I would just guess close to 2,000 people in attendance, Mr. Hunter. It was very packed. It was wonderful. I do want to bring this up to the board, to the audience too. Dr. Murphy, you were in attendance of the 129 expansion project meeting on Thursday night. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the DOT will start construction in 2025 on the 129 project, I believe. That will have a great significant impact on our bus routes, and we're going to continue to monitor that. Mr. Lumby did bring up several points of concern to the DOT concerning the bus routes and how that will impact us transporting children to and from school, so that's something we need to continually monitor. They told him they would take those under consideration. They also predicted almost doubling the population of Union County by the year 2050. Is that correct? 2051. So that is something very significant in the not so near future to be considering. I've had some people ask me questions, and since he's not here, I'm going to brag on somebody, because I would get in trouble if he was not here. I had some people ask questions about, Mr. Patton. Mr. Patton this, Mr. Patton that. What's all his equipment doing? 'Cause he owns a construction company. The man loses money working here. He has donated so much of his time, his equipment, his company resources to make projects happen here as cheaply and cost effectively as possible. And he would be very angry if I congratulated him when he's here. He's at a conference this week, so I'm gonna go ahead and thank him for his hard work and commitment and going above and beyond what he is asked to do. At the cost of his company, at many times he loses money by being an employee here. And I'm perfectly fine with him being mad later, but that's something to be commended. And you don't get that commitment, and that's why this school system is so great. People do things like that. There are people in this world that really do things out of the kindness of their own heart to help other people. There are people in this world that still do that. There are people in this world that still are generous and giving and caring. Not everybody is upset and bitter and not happy. So I want to thank this group of people. I'd like to thank Mike Patton. They don't have to be here. They are here. They choose to be here and invest in our kids, and I'm very thankful for that. One of the nicest things that we do every year, I think it's one of the most it is the most meaningful thing that we do every year for our community. And Command Sergeant Major McCann is here somewhere. He puts on, in conjunction with our students, the nicest Veterans Day program I've ever attended. If anyone here is a veteran or you know any veterans, it's very important. We want all our veterans here on November 11th. At 8:15 at Union County High School, our doors will open. We feed all the veterans breakfast. The children provide them with a wonderful ceremony. At 10 a.m. we'll transition to the football field this year. Is that correct, Mr. Hushin? Weather pending. To the football field for our Veterans Day program. It's all student led. We always have some folks participate in the Quilts of Valor ceremony, and that's very moving and very powerful. We also have a special award this year. We have the Gold Star Award that will be presented to a local family whose only relative in Union County. We had one soldier in Union County not returned from Korea. They're still missing in action, and that Gold Star Award will be presented to the family during that ceremony, and it'll be very, very meaningful, I'm sure, to the local family and to everyone in attendance. So if you can come on Veterans Day, November 11th, 8:15 is breakfast, 10 o'clock is the ceremony. That's a very important thing to attend. Our school district will be participating in the Wreaths Across America celebration in December. And what that is we will participate, we will help manufacture and lay wreaths on the veterans' graves here in Union County. So I think that's another very important thing that we're gonna do with our students. We're excited about that in December to pay our respects to the veterans of our community. The last thing that I wanna bring to everybody's concern, if you live in the state of Georgia or travel through the state of Georgia, you should be concerned about too. Harlan Provost, he's with the Department of Homeland Security. He briefed us at the Superintendent's Conference just about the spike in gang activity in the state of Georgia, not in our community. You know, I've talked to local law enforcement. We've had no issues in Blairsville, Georgia, Union County. But at this point in time, in the last 12 months, he said the known gang affiliation number has grown to over 71,000 gang members. Chief Deaton and I were in communications with our local GEMA rep today. We're gonna be hosting a community involvement event, a community awareness event. They have a gang specialist with the Department of Homeland Security. When we get that date established, we're gonna have that at our Fine Arts Center. We're gonna push that out on social media and try to get it in the newspaper. I think it's something that we all need to be aware about, but he talked in depth with us about the amount of violent crimes you see on the news and all these things. And the parts you're not really aware of is how gang related 90% of that crime is. So we thought it would be beneficial maybe to not just the residents of Union County, but all our surrounding communities to be able to attend that event and get a specialist in here to bring us all up to speed, whether you're traveling to a different part of the state. But regardless, we need to protect our community and keep the values and things that we have in place so it continues to be a nice place to live and to educate children. So that date will be forthcoming. As soon as we get it established, we will let everybody know, and really hope we have a good turnout. Sometimes we do community events and we have very few people attend, but I think that one, because everything from your drug trafficking to your all the different violent crimes, the carjackings and all the stuff you see on the news are really related to the gang activity in the state. And I'd like to be able to pull that together for everybody's information. So does the board have any questions or concerns?
You'll be letting us know when you can get that together?
Yes, sir, as soon as we can.
Thank you very much. It sounds great.
Thank you.
the construction management service recommendations. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We have just completed our RFP process. This was placed on the Georgia Government website. It was on the district website and newspaper. It's set out there for the full 28 days plus, and we had 1,023 vendors notified, but only one vendor actually submitted a proposal. However, the firm did submit a full and clear proposal, and they earned 472 points on the evaluation out of a possible 500. So they are a good firm. We have a track record running with them. It's Charles Black Construction, and that is who we would recommend for the construction of the new elementary school and for other purposes.
That sounds good. Board have any questions for Dr. Murphy about the construction management service?
No.
Okay. That being said, we're moving on to the action items in our agenda, and the construction management service recommendation from Dr. Murphy will be the first thing that the chair will now entertain a motion to accept.
I make a motion, we accept the proposal from Charles White Construction.
Thank you.
I second the motion.
Mr. Potts said he seconded. All in favor? Unanimous. Moving on next to our financial reports, Ms. Bundy. August 2022.
Okay, August 22, 2022, and you have your final July of 2022. The reason for that is because when we presented July for the last board meeting, I had not closed the year. So there could have been some things that changed. So this is your updated version of that. Does anyone have any questions?
So what was the final number on the last fiscal year as far as actual compared to budgeted?
The auditor will present that once we finish the audit, in case there's anything that changes on the audit.
You have an estimated time when the audit will be done?
I'm hoping that it'll be done by Thanksgiving to present at the January meeting.
Sounds good.
Do we have any idea, on the repairs on that bus, I know, Cody is not here this evening, but the bus that was rear-ended on the interstate?
Yes, we got that finalized, we've already gotten the check from the other person.
Okay.
$650 repair.
So that should be happening soon then, the repairs?
It's in the shop now.
Okay.
Great. Well, I didn't know if we was gonna be able to get to it or not.
So I don't know when they'll get it done, but it's coming.
There you go.
Most of those repairs now have some supply chain issues, getting parts and everything like that, so.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, ma'am. Board have any more questions for Ms. Bundy? Okay, that being said, the chair will now entertain a motion to accept the financial reports for July and August of 2022.
I make the motion that we approve the financial reports from July and August of 2022 as submitted.
Thank you. Second. Thank you, sir. All in favor? Unanimous. Mr. Potts said unanimous also. Next item on our agenda is the personnel recommendations. Mr. Hill, I see Ms. Setzer is actually absent.
She is out sick tonight with possible flu, don't know, so told her to stay home, keep that to herself. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to, answer those. All that information's sent out in packets, some placement positions.
Does the board have any questions or comments regarding the personnel recommendations for October the 25th, 2022?
No.
All right. Chair will now entertain a motion to accept the personnel recommendations as submitted.
I'll make the motion that we approve the personnel recommendations as submitted.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, ma'am. All in favor? Unanimous. Next item on our agenda is public comment. Dr. Murphy?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, we have 3 individuals who have signed up for public comment within the specified time limit. That would be Ms. Cindy Vandry, Mr. Miller Blanchard, and Mr. Vincent Peterson. First I will read this, then I will turn it over to you, sir.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Members of the public shall conduct themselves in a respectful manner that is not disruptive to the conduct of the board's business. Signs, flags, and banners related to political affiliations or topics of a divisive nature are prohibited inside the board meeting room. Each member of the public participating in public comment will be given no more than 3 minutes to speak and shall conclude all comments when their 3 minutes have expired. The board or its chair may limit further the total time allocated for public participation, as well as further limit the length of individual comments during public participation at the discretion for the purpose of the efficient operation of the business meeting. Only residents of the school district, representatives of businesses or organizations located in the district, parents or guardians of students attending the schools of the district, or school system employees may address the board during public participation. No individual or group will be retaliated against in any manner whatsoever for speaking during public participation. The board requests that any group or organization appoint a single representative to address the board. All speakers shall address the board by first stating their name, address, and identity, and identify the particular reason or subject matter of comment after the board shall recognize them and before providing their public comment. All remarks shall be made to the board as a body and addressed through the chair. Remarks shall not be addressed to individual board members. Issues involving individual employees or individual students and pending litigation are not subjects for public participation. When appropriate, the public is urged to follow other resolution processes set forth in the board policies or available at individual schools where those processes are clearly designed to address the issue to be raised. Speakers are asked to keep their remarks civil. The use of obscene, profane, vulgar, physically threatening, or abusive remarks will not be allowed. Loud or boisterous conduct or comments by speakers or members of the audience are not allowed. Neither the board nor the superintendent will respond to comments made by the speaker during public participation unless a member of the board chooses to ask a question. Speakers should remain at the podium while answering questions. The board will take comments under consideration and develop written responses if deemed appropriate. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. On our list right now, we have Miss Cindy Vanderbilt.
Excuse me. My name is Cindy Vandery. I live at 123 Wren Drive. I would like to address School Board Policy BCBD entitled Board Meeting Agendas. The policy states, items of business may be suggested for inclusion on a tentative agenda by any board member, staff member, or citizen of the district. The inclusion of items suggested by staff members, students, or citizens shall be the discretion of the superintendent. Citizens of the district have the capability to place items on the agenda for a board meeting. This capability is overridden by the superintendent having the discretion to include or not any agenda items suggested by the citizens. The capability of the citizens is taken away as soon as it is granted. It should be noted that this capability is given to citizens, not only to parents of students. Even though I do not have a student in Union County schools, I pay taxes to the school, and I certainly have an interest in the school and the county educating its children to become valued citizens of the county. The policy states the agenda together with supporting materials should be distributed to board members sufficiently prior to board meetings to permit them to give items of business careful consideration. The agenda for the meeting is posted on the website on the day of the meeting. This does not seem that it is sufficient time for the board to provide careful consideration, but it certainly does not allow the citizens of the district any input. An interested citizen who wishes to make their opinion known to the board could not. For a citizen to make a public comment, they must submit the request 24 hours prior to the scheduled meeting. The agenda is not available 24 hours before the meeting.
The public comment item is after the discussion items and the action items. Even if a member of the public wished to comment on an action item, they cannot because it has already been voted on. I propose that the policy required the agenda to be published on the board website a minimum of 3 days prior to the scheduled meeting, monthly meeting, given the public sufficient time to consider agenda items. The public comment agenda items should be placed before the discussion items and the action items on the agenda. In closing, as far as the walkout by the teachers and the staff at the last meeting, I am here to speak to the board. You've been elected to represent us as taxpayers and parents. It was troubling to see myself and others are being met with opposition when wanting to ask some questions regarding accountability and transparency and with the school board. A meeting was requested with the board, which was denied, and have had no response to the issues that have been brought up at previous meetings. This is troubling to me and is a red flag. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Van Grief. Yeah, I appreciate you coming. Next speaker will be Mr. Zeb Blanchard.
The usual. My name is Zeb Blanchard. Everybody's happy for the 182nd roll tonight. My address is 897 Wilmar Circle in Ivy Log. I am speaking for myself and as a Union County taxpayer. I'm presenting to the board in hopes of redress as required by the Constitution and to the parents and teachers for follow-up with the board. For my 182nd this month, I will offer some solutions as I promised in August and again in September. My suggestions are based on first-person knowledge of history. It was a generation following the greatest generation that put men on the moon and flew aircraft at greater than 3 times the speed of sound. We've not done anything like that since. They were educated in a curriculum put together at the community level by parents and teachers. School board policy allows changes to the curriculum at the local level. Incorporation of the first functional Department of Education in 1953 started the slow destruction of the PTA and quality education. You will see that changing the mandated curriculum will cause the school district to lose entitlements, and probably so. But this school district and those nationwide are overdue for trimming of their budget. So look to my right and see the better part of $250,000 in unneeded administration. Look in the back corner and see another $250,000 that could very well be replaced with volunteer armed teachers and trained resource officers. The rampant nepotism is unfathomable in this district and should be addressed as well. Reestablish the PTA. Let caring teachers and parents set the curriculum for our community needs. Perform a forensic audit to rid the system of bloated spending. Most importantly, and you've heard this before, open a dialogue with the citizens as required by the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blanchard. Appreciate you coming out. Next speaker will be Vincent Peterson.
My name is Vince Peterson. I live at 307 Odom Road. I'm here to talk today about the school board policy BH, which is entitled Board Code of Ethics. The policy requires that each board member, quote, annually with the superintendent and with the State Board of Education, file a written statement certifying that he or she is in compliance with this code of ethics. Now, in the Code of Ethics, we find various statements such as, quote, the member will, quote, seek regular and systematic communications among the board and students, staff, and community. The only communication with the community that I see occurs at the monthly board meetings. At these meetings, I don't see the board actually communicating with the community, and the community only gets 15 minutes to respond or to communicate to the board. In my opinion, this is not what this ethics statement is requiring. Further, it also states, quote, a board member will, quote, communicate to the board and the superintendent expressions of public reaction to board policies and school programs. Now, that implies that the board has to have input from the public in order for them to be able to provide these expressions of public reaction. Now, we don't see that happening. Okay. Further, it says that they will make, quote, make decisions on policy matters only after full discussion at publicly held board meetings. What discussion actually takes place? Okay. I don't see any. We approve budgets with the budget not being visible to the community. Okay. We approve, or you approve policies with the only thing the public knows is the name of the policy, not the content. Finally, there is, quote, a local board of education shall not adopt or follow any code of ethics which prevents the members of such board from discussing freely the policies and actions of such board outside of a board meeting. Now, I am requesting that the board members establish personal policies that allow the public to meet with the board members at scheduled times to hold dialogues with the community to discuss such things as the actual academic achievement and environment of our schools and the detailed financial status of the school system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. Peterson.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Vincent Peterson.
I do have a last name.
I'm slow to read, sir, thank you. That being said, is there anything else that we need to be handling this evening, Mr. Hill?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
The chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.